One accidental touch, 1 week, he's already obsessed. In part 1, a Korean mafia boss lost control when a black waitress touched his thigh. Now in part 2, his mother shows up, and she's ready to destroy the woman who made her son lose his mind. He'll burn down $1 billion empire to keep her. She'll walk into a room designed to break her. And by the end, someone's losing everything. If you didn't watch part 1, go back now, because part 2 doesn't make sense without knowing how this obsession started. I woke up to the indent in the pillow where his head had been, still warm. The sheets smelled like him, bergamot and something darker, smoke or threat, I couldn't tell which. My body ached from the way he'd held me all night, possessive even in sleep, making sure I couldn't leave. I was wearing his shirt, or he'd dressed me in it, I couldn't remember which. That should have scared me more than it did. Downstairs, voices erupted in panicked Korean. Through the bedroom window, I saw the black Mercedes pulling up, the kind that announced arrival, not visit. His housekeeper was running through the halls. Ko amaniha enus, ko asyasayo enus, mother is here. I didn't speak Korean, but panic translates perfectly. Mrs. Kim, traditional, powerful, the woman who controlled her son's $1 billion empire, had come to meet the black waitress who'd made him lose his mind. 1 week. That's all it had been since I accidentally touched Ji-hoon Kim's thigh in a restaurant, and he lost all control. Now I was about to learn exactly what it cost to touch a man who belonged to a family empire. Hit subscribe before his mother walks through that door, because what happens next is going to show you exactly what happens when obsession meets tradition. Drop a comment. Have you ever met someone's family and instantly knew they hated you? I grabbed clothes from the closet he'd filled without asking. Jeans. Sweater. His world rejected for mine, at least in this small way. I could still feel where his hands had been. On my waist. In my hair, careful of the texture, always careful. At my throat while he'd watched me breathe. Stop, focus. His mother is downstairs. I headed down. The front door was already open. Mrs. Kim stood in the entryway like she owned it, because she did. 60-something. Elegant in a way that didn't ask for attention, demanded it. Traditional hanbok in deep navy with silver embroidery. Pearls at her throat that probably cost more than my degree. Severe bun. Posture that made you want to apologize for breathing her air. 2 people flanked her. Driver, assistant, both silent, both Korean, both looking past me like I wasn't worth acknowledging. The housekeeper was bowing, deeply, repeatedly, terrified. Mrs. Kim spoke in Korean, sharp, clipped. The housekeeper gestured toward the dining room. Mrs. Kim's eyes followed. Landed on me. Stopped, recalibrated, stopped again. The assessment wasn't subtle. Head to toe. Taking in the brown skin first, always first, then the natural hair, the curves in the wrong places by Korean standards, the height, the width, every single thing that screamed other in a house built on sameness. I knew that look, had been getting it my whole life. White women did it with curiosity. Korean women did it with calculation. This woman was doing math, adding up everything I was and subtracting it from everything her son needed. The equation didn't balance. I lifted my chin anyway, met the stare. Mrs. Kim spoke to the housekeeper in Korean, didn't look away from me. I speak English, I said, professional voice, Columbia voice, the one that said I belong in rooms that don't want me. I'm Kiara Matthews. Mrs. Kim switched languages without blinking. Perfect English. American accent underneath Korean formality. I did not ask your name. I asked what you were doing in my son's home. Not who are you. What are you doing? Like I was in action, a problem, something to be solved. I'm a guest. Guests do not wear my son's clothes in the morning. Direct hit. Mrs. Kim walked past me, close enough that I caught her scent, expensive perfume and judgment. No handshake, no acknowledgement beyond that cutting observation. She spoke to the housekeeper. Bring tea, just 1 cup. 1 cup. The message clear. You're not staying long enough to need refreshment. I stood in the entryway of a mansion that wasn't mine, watching a woman who clearly considered me an infection to be removed, and felt every ounce of my blackness like weight. You don't belong here. You never will. Mrs. Kim sat in the living room, didn't invite me to join. I sat anyway. Her eyes narrowed, noted the defiance. Good, let her see it. How long have you known my son? 4 days. Pause, recalculation happening behind cold eyes. 4 days, repeated like an accusation, and you are already living here. I'm not living here. I spent 1 night. I see. The tone dripped with everything unsaid. I know exactly what kind of woman spends 1 night. My jaw clenched. It's not. I know exactly what it is. Mrs. Kim accepted tea from the housekeeper who wouldn't meet my eyes. You are a young woman who sees an opportunity. My son is wealthy. You are not. Simple mathematics. I stood. You don't know anything about me. I know you work 3 jobs. I know about your mother's dialysis in Atlanta. The student loans, $63,000. 4 days ago you had nothing. Today you're wearing designer clothes in my son's mansion. I slid through my chest. He told you. He didn't need to. I have resources. Of course she did. Same resources her son had. Background checks, surveillance, information as currency. The housekeeper brought a second teacup, set it near me without meeting my eyes. Mrs. Kim gestured to it. Sit, drink. Not an invitation, a command disguised as hospitality. I sat, didn't touch the tea. Your hair, her hand lifted, not asking, assuming access to my body because curiosity trumped consent in her world. It's so textured. Do you have to do a lot to maintain it? I leaned back, every muscle tight. Don't touch me. Her hand paused, surprise flickered, like she'd just remembered I could say no. I'm simply curious. We don't see hair like this often. Way. Like I was a specimen, a zoo exhibit in her son's living room. I'm not here for your education, I said. Of course not. Mrs. Kim's smile was sharp. You're here for my son's money. There it was. I never asked him for money. But you took it, your mother's medical bills, the apartment, the clothes on your back. She sipped her tea, calm. That makes you complicit. The truth hit like a slap. I had taken it all, every dollar, every gift, let myself be bought piece by piece while telling myself it was help, not payment. My son is impulsive, Mrs. Kim said, softer now, almost kind, worse than the coldness. He sees something, he takes it, but he loses interest quickly. You're not the first woman to spend a night here. I don't believe you. Believe what you wish. But when he's finished, and he will be, the money stops. Your mother's dialysis, the apartment, all of it. Can you survive that? My phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it. My hands were shaking. I pressed them flat on my thighs to hide it. Why are you here? I asked, voice steadier than I felt. Really, you didn't come just to meet me. No, I came to see if you were worth destroying my son's life for. And Mrs. Kim stood, smoothed her handbag, every movement precise. You are not. The front door opened. Jihoon's voice from the entryway, Korean, sharp, angry. Footsteps fast. He appeared in the doorway. His eyes went to me first, not his mother, not the staff. Me. Scanning, checking for damage. His jaw clenched when he saw how I was sitting, spine too straight, shoulders too tight, the posture of someone who'd been defending herself. Then he looked at his mother. Kamwa henin anus, kogaija anus. What are you doing? Not how are you, it's nice to see you. Straight to accusation. Because in his mind I was his to protect, and his mother had crossed a line. That should have bothered me more. It didn't. His mother responded calmly. Ko minnaka anus, ko sipasa anus. I wanted to meet her. Ko hadukto anus, ko upsi anus, without permission. Ko ne anus, ko chipia anus, my house. Jihoon's voice dropped, dangerous. Ko ne anus, ko chipia anus, ko nakaseyo anus, my house, leave. The Korean flew between them. I couldn't understand the words but felt the anger radiating off him. Protective, possessive. Claiming me in front of the woman who'd given birth to him. Mrs. Kim switched to English, looked at me. He didn't tell you this house belongs to the family trust, that I can remove him from it at any time. I looked at Jihoon. Is that true? It doesn't matter. It matters when you have nothing but what we allow you to keep. Mrs. Kim picked up her purse. Designer, understated wealth. Jihoon, family dinner tomorrow night, 7 p.m. The board will be there. You will attend. No. You will, or I call an emergency meeting about your recent instability. Missing work, firing staff without cause, erratic behavior. You wouldn't. Mrs. Kim's smile was ice wrapped in silk. I built this family's reputation over 40 years. I will not watch you destroy it for, she glanced at me, dismissive. A distraction. I'm standing right here, I said. Mrs. Kim turned to me fully. Then you understand. If he chooses you, he loses everything. His company, his position, his family, his inheritance. Everything he has spent his entire life building. Can you live with that responsibility? The question landed heavy. Could I? Jihoon stepped between us, physically, his body a wall. Leave, now. She spoke in Korean, quiet. Ko gunyaruenus, ko suntekhamyanenus, ko madunenus, ko galinus, ko ida inus. Choose her, lose everything. Ko arioenus, I know. Ko gudidoenus, and still. Jihoon looked at me, eyes burning, switched to English so I'd understand. And still. Something shifted in his mother's face. Not acceptance, recognition. The battle was already lost. She walked to the door, heels clicking on marble, stopped. 7 p.m. tomorrow, don't be late, and Jihoon, she looked back, don't bring her. Then she was gone. The door closed. Silence filled the space she'd occupied. Jihoon stood with his back to me, breathing carefully, fists clenched, fighting himself. I watched the tension in his shoulders, the way his hands opened and closed like he wanted to hit something. What did she say? I asked. At the end, in Korean. He turned, something feral in his eyes, something that hadn't been there before his mother arrived. She said if I choose you, I lose everything. And you said. I know. He crossed the room, didn't stop until he was close enough that I had to tilt my head back to see his face. I've known since the second I saw you in that restaurant that wanting you would cost me. I didn't care then, I don't care now. His hand lifted, cupped my jaw, thumb at my pulse point. Your heart is racing, he said, quiet, dangerous. You scare me sometimes. I know, he leaned down, breath on my lips. You should run. I know. Neither of us moved. Kiera. Don't, I stepped back, needed air, space. I need to think, I grabbed my coat. I'm going to meet Simone. Who? My best friend. The one who's been calling while I've been playing house with a man I barely know. His jaw clenched. I'll have my driver. No, firm, final. I'll take the subway like a normal person. Kiera. I'm not asking permission. He stopped. Something shifted in his face, softened slightly. Okay. Okay. You're not a prisoner. You can leave whenever you want. He walked toward me, stopped just close enough to feel dangerous. But come back. I don't know if I will. I know. His hand lifted, touched my face, barely, like making sure I was real. But I'm asking anyway. I left before I could change my mind. If you think that was intense, wait until you see what her best friend has to say. Smash that like button if you're team Kiera, because she's about to get the reality check of her life. The coffee shop was crowded. Normal, real world. Simone was already there, braids in a high ponytail, over sweater, judgment radiating off her like heat. I sat. She took one look at me and said, "Girl." Just that, one word, loaded with judgment, concern, and I told you so energy. Don't start. Don't start. Kai, you're wearing cashmere. You don't own cashmere. You own Target clearance and student loan debt. He bought me clothes. Exactly. Simone leaned forward, voice dropping to that tone, the one black women use when they're about to say the thing you don't want to hear. Baby, listen to me. You're a smart black woman with degrees and goals. He's a rich Asian man with money and control issues. This story doesn't end well for us. You know that, right? It's not like that. Then what's it like? 'Cause from here, it looks like every other story where a rich man rescues a broke black girl, and she thinks it's love until the money stops, and she realizes she was just entertainment. My throat tightened. He's not like that. You've known him a week, Kai. 1 week. You don't know what he's like. I know enough. Do you? Simone grabbed my hand across the table. His mother showed up today. What happened? I pulled my hand back. She threatened me, tried to touch my hair without asking, told me I wasn't worth her son destroying his life for. And she's probably right. Kai. No, listen, she's right. 4 days, that's all we've known each other. And he's about to lose everything. His family, his company, his entire life. For what? For me? For some waitress he met because of an accidental touch that lasted 3 seconds. Simone's eyes widened. You what? Reached under the table for a menu. My hand landed on his thigh. He lost all control. I apologized and ran. He followed me home. Jesus Christ, Kai. Yeah. We sat in silence. Simone poured more coffee. Do you love him? I don't know. How do you know in a week? You don't, that's the problem. Simone sighed, the sound of a black woman who'd seen this before. Let me tell you what I see. I see a man who paid off your mama's bills before asking if you wanted his help, who bought you an entire wardrobe without knowing your size. Wait, how did he know your size? I don't know. That's stalker behavior, Kai. I know. And you're still going back. His family is having a dinner tomorrow. He asked me to come. To what? Meet the people who hate you. To watch them tell him to choose between you and his inheritance. Probably. And you're going. I looked at my coffee, at the real world moving around us, at the life I'd built from nothing. I don't know yet. Simone reached across, grabbed my hand, wouldn't let go this time. Kai, I love you, you're my sister, but you need to hear this. That man is obsessed with you, not in love, obsessed. And obsession doesn't last. It burns hot and fast and then it's gone. And when it's gone, you'll be left with nothing. No job because let's be real, Marcus fired you. No money because his mama will make sure that stops. No apartment because he owns your building. Nothing. I know. Then why are you even considering going back? Because, my voice broke. Because when I'm with him, I feel seen. For the first time in my life, someone looks at me like I'm the only person in the world. Like I matter more than anything else. And I know it's obsession. I know it's not healthy, but it feels real. Simone squeezed my hand. Real doesn't always mean right. I know. So what are you gonna do? I don't know. But I did. I already knew. I went back to my apartment, tried to think. The space felt smaller, darker. The sounds from the street too, loud after days in his mansion. I made ramen. Instant, tasted like cardboard after chef-prepared Korean food. This is real life, not mansions and drivers and men who buy entire buildings. My phone rang. Mom. Baby, how are you? I don't know, Mama. Talk to me. So I told her everything. The restaurant, the touch, the money, the mansion, the mother, the dinner invitation. She listened, didn't interrupt. When I finished, silence stretched. Baby, do you love him? I looked at my ceiling, the water stain. Mama, I've known him 5 days. I didn't ask how long. I asked if you love him. I don't know, maybe. Is that even possible in 5 days? My mother sighed, the sound of a black woman who'd seen this before, lived this before. Let me tell you something your grandmama told me when I was about your age. She said, baby girl, the world is gonna tell you're too black, too loud, too much. Every single day, someone's gonna try to make you smaller. Don't you ever, and I mean ever, make yourself small for a man. Black, white, Asian, don't matter. You make sure he sees all of you. Your edges and your attitude and your family and your debt and your dreams. Everything. And if he still wants you, then maybe, he's worth keeping. My eyes burned. Does he see all of you? She asked. Yeah, he does. Even the hard parts. Especially those. He knows about the debt, the jobs, your dialysis, my attitude, all of it, and he's still. I couldn't finish. Then, what are you doing hiding in that apartment? I'm scared, Mama. Good, that means it matters. Now go get scared with him instead of alone. Because baby, if there's one thing I learned from your daddy, God rest him, it's that the things worth having are always the things that scare us most. After we hung up, I sat in my apartment for an hour. Then texted him. Me, what time is the dinner? Immediate response. Jihoon, 7, but you don't have to. Me, I know I don't have to. What time should I be ready? 3 dots, pause, longer than before. Jihoon, 6, I'll pick you up myself. Me, okay. Jihoon, Kiera. Me, yeah. Jihoon, thank you. I threw the phone on the couch before I could change my mind. I'm really doing this. I'm walking into a room full of people who hate me to stand next to a man I barely know who's about to lose everything. Simone's gonna kill me. Mama's gonna pray for me. And I'm gonna do it anyway. The dress arrived at 4 p.m. the next day. Garment bag, hand-delivered to my door. Inside, traditional Korean hanbok, modernized, black silk with gold embroidery that caught light, custom-made, my exact measurements down to the inch. A note in his handwriting, only if you want to, J. I stared at it for 20 minutes. He'd given me an out, always gave me an out. You don't have to, only if you want to. That's what made it dangerous. The choice was always mine. Which meant I couldn't blame him when it all went wrong. I put on the hanbok. Looked in the mirror. Didn't recognize myself, looked expensive, elegant, like I belonged in rooms that didn't want me. But still myself, natural hair in a fresh twist out, gold hoops catching light, my face. My mama's voice in my head, make sure he sees all of you. This was all of me. Black girl from Atlanta, in traditional Korean dress, walking into a family that would rather see me disappear. I'm really doing this. What happens when you walk into a room designed to destroy you? Comment below. Would you go to that dinner or would you run? Because what happens next is going to test everything I thought I knew about love, obsession, and survival. The Mercedes pulled up at 5:58. Jihoon got out himself. No driver. Traditional Korean formal wear, black with subtle embroidery, sharp lines, expensive fabric that whispered wealth. He saw me standing in the doorway. Stopped breathing. Jinja, really. Couldn't finish the sentence, just stared. Is this okay? I asked, suddenly uncertain. I've never worn. You're perfect. He crossed to me, hand at my waist, proprietary. I've never seen you in traditional wear. Because I'm not Korean. No, but you're mine. He said it simple, like fact, and you look like you were made for this. That should have bothered me. It didn't. Are you ready? He asked. No. Good, neither am I. I took his hand. His fingers tightened, possessive. Whatever happens tonight, you stay with me. Is that a request? No. Honest, always honest about what he was. We got in the car. The Kim family estate made his mansion look like a cottage. Traditional Korean architecture, multiple buildings, manicured gardens, koi pond with fish worth more than cars, wealth that didn't announce itself, it simply existed across generations. Through the windows I could see people, 20 at least, all Korean, all elegant, all looking like they belonged. You said family dinner. This is family dinner, Korean style. There are 20 people. That's small, he helped me out of the car. Last year there were 40. Oh God. We can still leave, right now. We get back in the car and go home. Home, he'd called his apartment home, where we both lived now without discussing it. No, I'm here, let's do this. His hand found mine, squeezed. Whatever they say, remember, you're with me, that's all that matters. At the entrance, shoes came off, traditional. Staff took coats. Inside, traditional interior, silk wall hangings, priceless art, furniture that had seen centuries, money so old it had roots. Conversations stopped when we entered. Everyone stared. Not even subtle about it, just stopped, turned, stared at the black woman in traditional Korean dress standing next to the heir who'd lost his mind. I felt every eye, felt my skin, My hair, my body, every difference amplified. This is what being the only one feels like. Jihoon's hand tightened on mine. Breathe. I did. Mrs. Kim was across the room, saw us. Face-controlled fury wrapped in perfect hostess mask. But she was hosting, had to be polite. She spoke in Korean to Jihoon. Call Gumhee Anos, you dare. She's my guest, he responded, same language. She's your mistake. He switched to English, loud enough for everyone. Mother, you remember Kiara Matthews. I bowed slightly, traditional, respectful. Mrs. Kim. Forced smile, knife sharp. Miss Matthews, how unexpected. A man approached, 50s, traditional, power radiating off him like cologne. Kim Sangwoo, the uncle, controlled 30% of the company. Jihoona, who is this? Kiara Matthews, my guest. The uncle looked me over, not even hiding it, head-to-toe assessment. I see, and what do you do, Miss Matthews? Professional voice, Columbia voice. I'm completing my PhD in African American Studies at Columbia. Surprise flickered, hadn't expected that. Columbia, impressive. Pause, and where did you meet my nephew? I was his waitress. Silence crashed through the room. I felt it, the judgment, the math happening in every mind. PhD student, waitress, black, American, not Korean, not one of us. The uncle laughed, actually laughed. A waitress with a PhD, now that's interesting. I work 3 jobs to pay for school, I said, calm, steady. Waiting tables is one of them. Of course, he smiled, patronizing, very industrious. Translation, how quaint that you have to work. Dinner was announced. 18 people filed into the formal dining room. Traditional seating, low table, cushions. I followed Jihoon's lead. The seating was deliberate. Mrs. Kim at the head, uncle to her right. Jihoon seated far from his mother, deliberate insult, me next to Jihoon. Across from us, the cousins, the aunts, the board members, all watching. Traditional Korean courses were brought out, multiple dishes, beautiful presentation. I watched Jihoon, followed his lead on chopsticks, on which dish to try first. On the etiquette I didn't know. Felt like performing, being tested. An aunt leaned forward. Your hanbok is beautiful. Did Jihoon buy it for you? Loaded question. Implication, you couldn't afford it yourself. Yes, I said. He has excellent taste. And you're Korean, you speak it. No. Oh, surprise, that wasn't surprise. That must be difficult. Translation. How can you be with him if you can't even speak his language? I smiled, polite. I'm learning. I wasn't, but let them think what they wanted. A cousin, Minna, pretty in that delicate way I would never be, smiled at me. Sweet venom. Then reached across the table. For my hair. No warning. No may I just assumption that my body was public property. I caught her wrist, hard. No. The table went silent. Chopsticks stopped midair. Conversations died. Minna's eyes widened, like she'd been slapped. I was just curious. I'm not a petting zoo. I didn't let go. Let her feel the strength in my grip, the warning. You don't get to touch me because you're curious. Minna pulled back, looked at Jihoon like he should do something. He didn't. Instead, apologize to his cousin, in English so I would understand. For what? I didn't mean. You touched her without asking. Apologize. The uncle laughed, uncomfortable, trying to diffuse. Jihoona, it's not that serious. Jihoon's voice went cold. It is to me. His hand found mine under the table, squeezed. Apologize to her now. Minna's face went red, shame and anger mixing. I'm sorry. She wasn't, but she said it. I felt the entire table's resentment land on my shoulders. This is what you get for saying no, for having boundaries, for not performing gratitude. Welcome to being black in spaces that don't want you. The meal continued, tense now, conversation in Korean, me excluded by language. I ate, stayed quiet, survived. Then Minna spoke again, couldn't help herself. Jihoon Oppa usually dates models, tall, thin. She smiled at me. You know, elegant. Translation crystal clear. Not you, never you. How nice for him, I said. I'm just saying you're so different, pause, loaded, exotic. There it was, the word that made my skin crawl. I'm not exotic, I'm black, you can say it. Minna's smile faltered. I didn't mean. You did. I leaned forward, smiled back, sharper. Let me help you, I'm a black American woman, not exotic, not unusual. Just different from the thin Korean models he used to date. Better. Silence. Jihoon's hand tightened on mine under the table. The uncle tried to laugh, diffuse tension. She's bold, Jihoona, I'll give you that. She's honest, Jihoon said, eyes on his cousin, warning clear. That's why I brought her. Mrs. Kim's voice cut through. Perhaps we should discuss the Gangnam project. Sangwoo. Uncle turned to Jihoon. We need your approval on the zoning permits. The meeting is Monday. I'll review it. You've missed the last 3 board meetings. I've been busy. So we've noticed. The uncle's tone sharpened. Your distraction has been noted by the board. Mrs. Kim set down her chopsticks. Delicate, precise. Which is why we should discuss Jihoon's position in the company. I leaned toward him, quiet. What's happening? They're making their move. His jaw clenched. Now in front of you, so you'll see what it costs. Mrs. Kim continued, voice carrying. Since Jihoon seems unable to focus on business, perhaps we should discuss succession planning. Uncle nodded. I agree. The company needs stable leadership. Jihoon stood, chair scraping. We're not discussing this at dinner. Then when? His mother's voice stayed calm, cold. You refuse to attend meetings. You fired 3 assistants this month without cause. You brought a stranger, she looked at me, to family dinner after 1 week. You're jeopardizing everything your father built. I stood too. I should go. Jihoon's hand caught my wrist, not hard but firm. No. Then he turned to the table, to his family, to the people who'd shaped his entire life. You want to know why I brought Kiera? His voice carried, steady. Because I'm done pretending, done living according to what you want, what tradition demands, what the family expects. Jihoon, his mother's warning. I've spent 38 years being perfect. Perfect son, perfect student, perfect CEO, building your empire, following every rule, marrying who you chose. Don't, his mother said, sharp. And being miserable every single day. He looked around the table. Name one thing in the last 10 years that made me happy. One thing that wasn't for the company or the family. Silence. I met Kiera a week ago, his hand still on my wrist, anchor. For the first time in years, I felt something other than obligation. Mrs. Kim stood. Feeling is not a business strategy. Maybe that's the problem. He turned to me, something desperate in his eyes. Maybe I've been building the wrong thing my whole life. The uncle's voice hardened. If you continue this relationship, the board will vote on your removal. Then vote. You would give up everything for a woman you met a week ago. Jihoon looked at me, only at me, if that's what it takes. Mrs. Kim's voice went quiet, dangerous. And when she leaves you in 6 months, when the novelty wears off and she realizes you're just another controlling Korean man, what then? Then I rebuild. With what will cut you off? No money, no position, no family support, you'll have nothing. I'll start over, he turned back to his mother. I've done it before. You were 25, you're 38 now. You think you can start from nothing at your age? I don't know, but I'd rather try than spend another day in this prison. I grabbed his arm. Jihoon, stop, you can't throw away your life for me. He looked at me, eyes burning. I'm not throwing it away, I'm choosing it. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing. Choosing what, me? You barely know me. I know enough. You don't, my voice broke. You don't know if I'll stay, if this is real, if I'm worth it. He cupped my face, right there, in front of everyone. You're worth it, and I'll spend every day proving that to you if you'll let me. Mrs. Kim's voice cut through. How romantic. A week of obsession masquerading as love. Jihoon didn't look away from me. Call it what you want. I'm done apologizing for feeling something real. The uncle stood. The vote. Those in favor of discussing Jihoon's removal from the CEO position. Hands went up around the table. Jihoon didn't watch, didn't count. Just looked at me. I just burned my entire life down for you, he said, voice raw. Tell me I didn't make a mistake. I can't tell you that. Why not? Because we don't know yet. I know enough. The uncle's voice. The motion passes. Emergency board meeting Monday morning to vote on removal. Jihoon took my hand. Let's go. Where? Anywhere but here. He walked toward the door. I followed. His mother's voice. If you walk out that door, Jihoona, you walk out on everything. The company, this family, your father's legacy. He stopped, looked back. Ko abadi enus, father. Ko mienheo enus. I'm sorry. Then he walked out anyway. Me with him. They just walked away from $1 billion empire. For obsession. For a week of knowing each other. For something that might not even last. Smash that like button if you think he just made the biggest mistake of his life or the best decision. Because what happens next is going to show you what love looks like when it costs everything. Rain started as we left the estate. Of course it did. Always rain with us. We stood in the garden, me and Hanbok getting soaked, him in traditional wear ruined by water. Neither of us moved toward the car. What did you just do? My voice shook. I chose. You chose wrong. That's your family, your company, everything. I built a prison. His hands were shaking. I'd never seen that before. And I'm done living in it. You're going to regret this. Maybe, but not tonight. He stepped closer, rain between us. Not with you standing here. Jihoon. I just burned my entire life down. His voice broke. Tell me it means something. I can't. Why not? Because I don't know if I'll stay, if I'm strong enough for this, if. He kissed me. Not asking, taking. His hand in my hair, careful of the texture, always careful, pulling me closer. His other hand at my waist, possessive, claiming me in the rain while his family watched from windows. I should pull away. Should remind him that kissing wasn't consent to the life he was demanding. Instead, I grabbed his shirt, expensive fabric, ruined now. Pulled him closer. Kissed him back like drowning felt good. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine, both of us breathing hard. Run, he said. What? Run, leave, go back to your apartment and block my number. Because if you stay, I won't let you go. I'm not built that way. I'm obsessive and controlling, and I've already proven I'll destroy everything to keep you. I know. And you're staying anyway. Yeah. Why? Because I'm not built to run from things that scare me, even when I should. His smile was dark, beautiful, dangerous. You should be. I know. We stood in rain, soul lights reflecting off wet pavement, the estate behind us full of people who wanted me gone. What happens now? I asked. Now they vote me out, Monday morning. I'll be removed as CEO by noon. And then I figure out who I am without all that. His hand found mine, laced our fingers. With you, if you'll stay. I don't know if I can handle this. I know. I don't know if we'll make it. I know that too. Then why? Because the last week taught me something. He pulled me close. That living without feeling anything is worse than risking everything to feel alive. We got in the car. Driver pulled away from everything he'd known. I watched the estate disappear in rain-blurred windows. Where are we going? I asked. My apartment, the small one, the one that's actually mine. And tomorrow? Tomorrow I start over. He looked at me. With you, if you want. I didn't answer. Didn't know how. Monday morning. The board vote took 6 minutes. 6 hands in favor of removal, 2 opposed. By 10:07, Jihoon Kim was no longer CEO of Hanseong Technologies. He cleared his office by noon, 15 years in boxes. By 1 p.m., he was at my apartment. I opened the door before he knocked. I heard. The news had been everywhere. Korean business sites, American business news. Billionaire CEO ousted after public family scandal. News travels fast. Are you okay? I don't know yet. He stepped inside my apartment. Small, real, nothing like what he'd left behind. Can I stay here just for tonight, until I figure out? Yeah, of course. He sat on my worn couch, put his head in his hands. I'd never seen him like this, uncertain, lost. I sat next to him. What are you going to do? I don't know, he looked at me. I've never not known. My whole life has been planned, structured, and now you're free. Free, he laughed, no humor. I have savings, some properties in my name, but no company, no family, no plan. So make one. What? Make a plan. You're smart, educated, connected, start something new. With what capital? With investors who believe in you, not your family name, you. He looked at me, really looked. You sound very sure. I'm not, but one of us has to pretend to be. He pulled me close, buried his face in my neck. I'm terrified. Good, that means it matters. We sat like that, my small apartment, his expensive suit wrinkled, both of us in the wreckage of the week that changed everything. Kiera. Yeah. Thank you for staying. I haven't decided yet if I'm staying. I know, but you're still here. That's enough for now. 3 months later. Jihoon rented office space. Small, startup area, 3 rooms and a dream. Started building a tech company from scratch. Legitimate, international, no family money, just his knowledge and investors who believed in him. Worked 16-hour days, came home exhausted, happy. I defended my dissertation, passed with distinction. He sat in the audience, watched my brilliance, felt proud in a way that had nothing to do with ownership, everything to do with witness. We lived between apartments, his small one, mine smaller, fought over dishes and bathroom time and who forgot to buy milk. Real, messy, human. You left the seat up again. You used all the hot water, again. I was deep conditioning. For an hour. It takes time. A-ish, but he smiled when he said it. His business grew, slowly. First investor meeting went well, second even better. I helped prep presentations, used my research skills. This slide is boring, add a story. It's data. Data without narrative is just numbers. Tell them why it matters. He did, it worked. One night, his phone rang. Unknown number, he almost didn't answer. Did anyway. Jihoon. His mother's voice, first time in 3 months. He looked at me, I was watching, waiting. Luma. I need your help, her voice shook. Mrs. Kim never shook. The investigation, the family business. What investigation? Tax evasion, bribery, international money laundering, the authorities, she broke off. We need you. Jihoon's jaw clenched. You cut me off, voted me out, told me I was dead to the family. You're still my son. Am I? Because 3 months ago you made it clear I had to choose. I chose. Silence on the line. Please, your uncle, they're going to arrest him. The company will collapse. Everything your father built. Everything he built on corruption and bribes. Jihoon's voice went hard. I'm glad I'm out. Jihoona. No, you made your choice. I made mine. I'm not coming back to save an empire built on lies. But the family. The family cut me off. Remember, for choosing a black woman over tradition, for choosing happiness over duty, for choosing myself. I stood, moved to the window, giving him space. His mother's voice softened, broke. Are you happy, really? Jihoon looked at me, morning light, his shirt, natural hair catching sun, reading a book on his couch in his small apartment. Yes, for the first time in my life, yes. I was wrong. His mother said it so quiet he almost didn't hear. About her. I know you were. Will you ever forgive me? Someday, but not today, not while you still think what I did was wrong. What you did was, she stopped. I don't know anymore, maybe it was brave. Maybe it was foolish, maybe it was both. It was necessary. Silence. I have to go, Uma. Jihoon. He hung up. Stared at the phone. I came back, sat next to him. That was hard. It was necessary. He put the phone down. She wanted me to come back, save the company. The investigation found everything. Are you going to help them? No, he looked at me. I chose. I don't get to go back when it's convenient. Even if it's your family. Family doesn't use love as leverage. They did. I'm done playing that game. I leaned against him. No regrets. Not one, he pulled me close. Well, maybe one. What? I regret not doing this sooner. 6 months after the dinner. Job offers came. NYU wanted me, professor position, good money, prestige. Seoul International University wanted me too. International Studies program. Half the pay, foreign faculty, the only black woman in the department. What are you going to do? Jihoon asked. We were in his apartment, our apartment now. I'd moved in without discussion. Just started keeping clothes there, then books, then my life. I don't know, I looked at the offers. NYU makes sense, better money, better position. But Seoul, I stopped. Seoul is where you are. You can't make this decision based on me. Why not? You made yours based on me. That's different. How? He didn't have an answer. I looked at the offers again. If I take NYU, what would you do? Follow you, simple like fact. Pack up, move the business, start over in New York. Just like that. Just like that. That's insane. Probably, he pulled me onto his lap. But I told you from the beginning, I'm obsessive. I don't let go. That should scare me more than it does. I know. I looked at the Seoul offer. If I take this, you know what it means, right? What? I'll be the only black woman in the department. The only black woman a lot of my students have ever met. I'll be a representative, an ambassador, the example, every single day. I know. I'll be stared at on the subway, questioned about my credentials, asked to touch my hair, to explain my existence, every single day. I know, he cupped my face, and you'll be brilliant and strong, and you'll handle it because that's who you are. You sound very sure. I am, because I've watched you handle my family, Korean society, me. If you can survive that, you can survive anything. I made my choice. Seoul. Not because it was easy. Seoul would never be easy for me. I'd always be stared at on the subway. Always be the only black woman in faculty meetings. Always have to explain my hair, my food, my family to people who'd never left Korea. But I chose it anyway. Because if I could survive being black in America, I could survive being black in Seoul. And this time, I wouldn't be doing it alone. 1 year after the restaurant, I stood in front of my first undergraduate class, International Relations 101, Seoul International University. 35 Korean students stared at me. I stared back. Good morning, I'm Professor Matthews. And yes, before you ask, I'm black, American, and I'm going to be teaching you about international relations through the lens of race, power, and historical context. Any questions? A hand went up. Can I touch your hair? The class gasped. I smiled. No, but thank you for asking instead of just grabbing, that's growth. Next question. That night, I came home to Jihoon cooking. Badly, burning rice, setting off the smoke alarm. How was your first day? He called over the alarm. Someone asked to touch my hair in the first 5 minutes. And I said no, they apologized, we moved on. Progress. I guess. I opened windows, waved smoke away. How was your day? Closed our series A 5 million. I stopped. What? 5 million in funding. We're official. I grabbed him, kissed him. That's amazing. I know, we celebrate tonight. Dinner, that place you like. The one with the kimchi Jiggy you're obsessed with. Yes. We stood in our small apartment. Smoke clearing. Burned rice in the trash. Both of us building something from nothing. Do you miss it? I asked. The company, the money, the life. Sometimes, he said, honest, always honest. I miss the certainty, the structure, knowing exactly what my life would look like. And then I come home to you, and I remember that certainty is just another word for prison. He pulled me close. This is better, harder, but better. Even with burned rice. Especially with burned rice. We ordered takeout, sat on the floor, ate from containers like college students. Kiera. Yeah. Are you happy? I looked around. Small apartment, mismatched furniture, a life built from scratch with a man I'd known for a year. A man who'd chosen me over everything, who'd lost everything and called it winning, who burned rice and learned Korean curse words and showed up every day. Yeah, I am. Good, he kissed my temple, because you're stuck with me now. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Outside, Seoul moved, the city that would never fully accept me, the city that was slowly becoming home anyway. Inside, we built something new. Two people who'd met by accident, touched by chance, chose each other by necessity. And learned that sometimes the best things in life don't make sense. They just feel right. They say you can't build a life on obsession. That love needs time. That crossing cultures, colors, and worlds costs too much. Maybe they're right. But I touched a stranger's thigh in a restaurant. He became obsessed. I became curious. We both became free. 1 year later, we're still standing, still building, still choosing each other every day. Is it forever? Nobody knows. But right now, in our small apartment with burned rice and big dreams, we're living proof that sometimes the most dangerous choice is the right one. If this story wrecked you, smash that like button. Drop a comment. Would you sacrifice everything for love, or is that just obsession in disguise? And if you want part 3, because there's always more to the story, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I've got more dark romance, more AMBW stories, more obsession that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about love. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.